And joining me now for more on his condition and the story, USA Today sports reporter Dan Wolken, who was at the game. Thank you so much for joining me. Going back to the reaction of the people in that arena, tell me at least a little bit of what you saw and when people really, I guess, the impact of what had happened hit them.
Well, I just saw a regular basketball play. He was going out to contest a three-point shooter. The shot went in, and then there was just immediately chaos around the Louisville bench. You saw guys on the floor all over the place. I looked up and saw Russ Smith just in tears. And then you kind of got a sense that Kevin Ware was hurt, but when you looked at his leg and you saw the bone in the wrong place, you knew that this was going to be a serious problem for him, and you didn't know exactly how the game was going to go on because the entire energy of that arena had totally been sucked out.
That was fast.
They had to do it. They really had no choice. There was no way Rutgers was going to be able to run their basketball program if Mike Rice had stayed. And I think the question people in college athletics are asking, having seen this tape, is what took so long.
The athletic director thought that he could rehabilitate the coach after all of this. Is this common practice within universities?
I don't think so. You know, I've been to hundreds of basketball practices. I've seen coaches at their most maniacal. I've never seen anything like I saw on tape yesterday. It horrified me. You can't throw basketballs at people's heads. You can't call kids in this day and age those names. People don't send their kids to college to get called those things by a basketball coach. They just don't. And I think he had anger issues going back to his previous job at Robert Morris. Everybody knew about them. And, you know, Tim Pernetti wanted a fiery coach. But this guy went over the line clearly many, many times. And I don't think there was any question he had to go.
Dan, what is Coach Calipari saying is going to be the key to victory for the Tigers?
Well, you know, when these two teams played 2 years ago in the Elite Eight, it was 50-45. I think Memphis has to do a better job this time imposing their will on longer portions of the game, which means getting the game going a little bit faster. And Memphis has a few ways of doing that. Now, they're not going to necessarily extend their defense full court because they really respect UCLA's guard play. They know they're not going to be able to turn them over too much. But a lot of ball pressure, make them make decisions quicker than they want to make. Memphis can then maybe get some turnovers, some easy baskets. The other thing is rebounding, making sure you secure the rebound and then turning it up the court quickly, because that's what Memphis is really, really good at.
Okay, I think we all agree, Oklahoma, LSU, Alabama, absolutely.
I don't think Oklahoma's for real.
Really?
Look, it's a very, very good football team. A team that belongs in the national championship conversation. Not yet. Not based on what? A win at a very average Florida State team that was all hype in the preseason? No. I think Oklahoma's good, but I won't be surprised if they lose to Texas this weekend.
Okay, so Pernetti wanted a fiery coach. What do you mean by that? Like, do they go right up to the line, and if they go over the line, it's like, you're out?
Well, look, there's something to be said for aggressive coaching, for somebody to push players to be their best. But in this day and age, you cannot be abusive. And I think that Mike Rice was clearly abusive many, many times over the course of 3 years. And when Tim Pernetti saw that tape in December, and I've known Tim for a long time, he's very well respected in the college athletics community, considered one of the smarter people. I don't know what he was thinking. This was not a first offense, as he called it yesterday. This was going on many times over 3 years.
Dan, what are you hearing there in Memphis?
Well, we can now confirm at the commercial appeal that John Calipari has accepted the job at Kentucky. Nothing is signed, but he has accepted the job. It's a done deal. He should be on his way to Lexington shortly, and he is no longer the coach at Memphis.
All right, so how was the parting there? How are they taking it at Memphis? How is the exit between Calipari and Memphis?
I don't think it's going to be particularly friendly, to be honest with you. It's going to leave the Memphis program in a really difficult spot without a whole lot of returning talent, and it looks like the recruiting class is probably going to fall apart completely.
So it makes you wonder how much more of this is going on at other universities.
Well, a lot of times at universities, they will go to great lengths to protect a winning coach. Mike Rice was a losing coach. He had not been competitive in the Big East, and I think that's what baffled people yesterday when they saw this tape, is why would the Rutgers administration, and Tim Pernetti in particular, want to keep Mike Rice, having seen what they saw? Because it's not like he was bringing a lot of value to the athletic department in terms of wins and losses.
What do you think the odds are, though, that he'll be with the team? Now, obviously not playing, but there to root them on.
It sounds like he'll be able to get out of the hospital. You know, Kevin Ware's from Atlanta, which is where the Final Four is being held this year.
Yeah.
So I know that Louisville's going to do whatever they can to get him in the arena this weekend to watch the team, and certainly it's going to be inspirational for everybody, and particularly Louisville's players.
But that leads us right to the next question, and I think these go hand in hand a lot in college football. Who's the best coach in college football?
Well, Nick Saban, I think, has established that he wins no matter where he's at. He did it at Toledo. He did it at Michigan State, LSU. He's obviously won national championships at 2 schools. He gets those guys in position every year. Now, last year, he was disappointed with what he got out of that team, and they still went 10-3. You can guarantee he's not going to let that happen again this year. He will bring even more intensity to the table. And I think that it's hard to deny he is the guy. If you could pick one to start a program, he would be it.
Well, we'll turn the focus from the Gummy Bears to Coach Calipari. What's he saying is the key for Memphis to this game?
He singled out Robert Dozier yesterday as a really important player for the Tigers. Dozier's 6'9", long, lanky forwards, got a 7'3" wingspan. A couple years ago, he was considered the top NBA prospect in the program, but he's a little bit inconsistent. He's up and down throughout the course of the season. When he's good, he's really, really good. And when he's not good, he's 2 points against Texas, 6 points against UCLA in the last game, and he's going to be a key factor tonight.